Allie, and today I'm filming in a different angle. I don't know why. I just felt like not filming down here and being up here. Okay, so what I'm really doing this video is I'm doing my monthly wrap-up, so it's not that great, guys. I've only read 4 books this month, and it's mostly because May was my exams month, and literally every single week I had an exam, an AP test, a final. I'm so glad I even read 4 books, so yeah. And today is like the first time in forever where I don't have any schoolwork or homework or projects I have to do or study for any test. And guys, the feeling, it feels so great, and I'm so happy that school is almost over. I have 1 week left before summer vacation, and then I can read, guys. I can read. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book I read this month was The Unbound by Victoria Schwab, and I don't have a physical copy of the book because I don't own it, and I really wish I did. I checked it out at the library. The Unbound is the sequel to The Archived, which, they are both so great. Honestly, I think this series is slowly climbing up to one of my favorites. One of my favorite parts of The Unbound and The Archive is just the writing style. It's just full of beautiful imagery and metaphors. The Unbound is a little bit different than The Archived in the sense that The Unbound isn't as action-packed. In The Unbound, you see the emotional impact on consequences that occurred in The Archived. I think this may bore people a little bit more, but to me, I absolutely loved it. It made Mackenzie feel like such a real person. Certain books, when something traumatic happens to a character, the characters don't really seem to act how you would really feel if some of this stuff happened to you. And I think that's what I loved about The Unbound, is that Mackenzie's not okay after everything that's occurred. And I'm kind of rambling on that. 5 out of 5 stars for The Unbound. I highly recommend the series if it sounds interesting to you, or if you just want to give it a go. The second book I read this month was The Fifth Wave by Yancey, and this was a reread. I selected this book for a biology project. We had a list of projects we could do, and one of them was a book review, so I mean, of course I did the book review. I reread this book. I read it last year when it first came out, and there's like post-it notes in here because I was making sure to note certain things for my project, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what this book is about. It's been hyped a lot for good reason. It's really great. It follows our main character Cassie, who is in the midst of an alien apocalypse. The aliens have come down in stages known as waves. That each wave sort of gets progressively worse and worse. This book takes place in the midst of the 5th wave, and it goes back into flashbacks of what occurred before the 5th wave. You get to know the characters because this book is not told in one point of view, it's told in multiple point of views, and I think that really helps to tell the story because you get to see other things besides just what's happening in Cassie's brain. It was a really awesome sci-fi apocalyptic book, and I highly recommend it. I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5. The next book I read is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, and I read this for the BookBusters group. They are a newly formed book club here on YouTube, and they involve several awesome booktubers, and I will leave the Goodread links down below and the Twitter. I did a review on this book, so I will leave that link down below as well, so I'm not going to go too much into it. I pretty much say everything I need to say in there. But it's about our main character, Laura Jean, who writes letters to all the boys that she's loved. She lets out how she feels, what she thinks about them, and when she's done, she puts them away, never to really be seen again. They aren't really intended for anybody's eyes but her own. Well, one day she comes home and realizes that all these letters have been sent out to the people they are written to. And that's sort of the most basic plot I could give you. It has a really nice romance and a really nice family aspect of it as well, so I quite enjoy this book. It was a really nice contemporary, especially since I haven't read a contemporary in a really long time, so this was really refreshing, and I gave this book 4 stars out of 5. The last book I read this month was The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan, and I still have my bookmark in here, but I'm done. I'm gonna take it out as soon as I finish. And also, excuse this, it has the name of my library there, so, because it's a library book, so yeah. This book was recommended to me by my mother. We were in the library browsing the books, and she pulled us out and said, read it. I didn't really know too much before I read it, and I think that's how it should be. I'm going to give you a really quick thing about it, but I'm not going to get into too much detail. It follows 4 women who immigrated from China to America and their 4 daughters. Each chapter is told in a different point of view. It follows one of the 4 women or one of their daughters. I really, really loved it. I thought it was beautiful. The writing was beautiful, and just the story was beautiful. I don't think it's the happiest of all books. It sort of goes through the relationship between the mothers and the daughters, and a lot of times their strained relationship. But in order to understand their strained relationship, you have to understand the story behind the mother, and they do. The mothers tell their stories, and then the daughters tell their stories, and they always reflect back to their childhood and just the many complications that they had with their mothers being from China and their American-born children. I am Chinese, so I did understand a little bit in this story. I loved it when they talk about some of the food they cooked, because like I know what they're eating. Sometimes they put like little Chinese quotes or little stuff, and I can read it, and yeah, I thought that was another cool aspect for me, at least. It was so good, and I highly recommend it to anyone. And I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. That's all for this video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your day has been wonderful, and I'll see you guys really, really soon. Bye, guys. I'm a seal.